Hello, everybody. This is the Mad One, and, well, it's upon us. The moment that we bronies have been dreading and anticipating. This Season 3 finale of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And, let me get this out of the way. I'm actually okay with Twilight Sparkle becoming a alicorn, or a winged unicorn, or whatever the heck you like to call her. That's not where my issue is going to come in. No, my issue mainly comes with, well, Meghan McCarthy. Now, let me make this very clear to you. I actually don't really have a problem with Meghan McCarthy. It's more or less the statement that she made to Entertainment Weekly. Her recent statement to Entertainment Weekly does bug me, and don't get me wrong, I have read the entire thing. I'm not taking the quote out of context like most people are. I'm just giving out my general opinion about what she said. See, she didn't just say every little girl wants to become a princess. She said a little bit more than that, but in the end, that's still what she said. That's all this whole video is about. And that whole mindset, and why I have a problem with it. Okay? Now, here's the thing about Meghan McCarthy. I think she's actually a pretty decent writer. But the fact that she would say something like this does bug the living crap out of me. Now, if it's one thing that I do like about the series as a whole is that it lacks what I call the princess factor. That every little girl wants to become a princess, that every little girl hates conflict and wants everything to be nice and perfect, and you see, that's where my issue comes in with this statement. That in the long run, Hasbro wants to still aim for the lowest common denominator. Okay? It's still making the show for its intended audience, and in the worst way. Okay, now the main reason why Friendship is Magic has become so popular amongst male audiences is because, well, it doesn't feel like a girly show half the time. It feels very mature and feels very well developed half the time. And it doesn't actually feel overly girly half the time. I really appreciate that about the series, that it's not too sugary, it's not too flowery, that it does its job over well. I mean, yeah, granted, I will say that it's not the best series of all time, despite what all the other brownies might say about it. But I will say that I'll give credit where it is due and say that this show is just fantastic. But the fact is that now we're going to be seeing a change of direction in the series. It seems that this move is, well, Hasbro backpedaling a little, back to the previous generations of My Little Pony. And for me, that's not exactly a good thing, okay? The main reason why Friendship is Magic is so popular is because it's not exactly like those previous series. That it's not exactly just pandering to younger audiences. It's trying to pander for everybody, okay? And Hasbro just seems to be missing that point with this changeover. And, alright, the changeover in itself is both a good and a bad thing, okay? The good that comes out of this is pretty, well, not obvious, okay? As a character, this means that Twilight's going to be reaching a brand new step in her evolution as a character. Throughout the entire series, she's grown up as a character as a whole, and this means that she's just going to take on another role. But her becoming a princess, I'm not too sure is a good, wise move. The main thing that concerns me is, well, Twilight's interaction with her friends in the current cast. I mean, this is going to be an entirely new thing. She's going to be a princess, and they're still going to be normal, everyday ponies, and I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be working out or not. How is she going to live with this change? Is she going to be all too powerful? Is she going to become all too mighty? That sort of thing. That's the thing that most of the fandom is worried about, and to a point it is my concern too. And then there's the princess factor, which Meghan McCarthy seems to have, I don't know, backpedaled into for some reason. And like I said, I've read the entire statement. And I really hate to say this, but Meghan McCarthy, I think your statement in general, in the end, is stupid. I'm not gonna totally slam you for this statement. I know that, in a way, you were trying to cover for Hasbro, but the state that you still said it bothers the living crap out of me. Now, I know you said that you wanted girls to become more like Princess Leia, but still, the most common image of princesses for most of us is the Disney princess. And that is not what we want. I don't even think the target demographic wants that. I think we want our characters to be well-rounded, well-developed characters that don't just live in magical fairy castles just for the sake of, appealing to the target demographic. And that's where this whole thing is bothering me at, okay? Meghan McCarthy, I like you, okay? I like most of your episodes. It's just that this quote and this mindset is the main reason why My Little Pony has been ridiculed and criticized in the past. That it seems like this series is going to go backtracking for the sake that Hasbro just wants to sell a toy. And that's where this whole issue lays. Now, I understand, this is a series made for little girls. Yes, it is a series made to sell a toy. But don't make it bloody obvious. I mean, if it's one thing that's made me stay with the series for the longest period is that it didn't feel overly pandering. That it didn't just want to say, oh, little girls like princesses and fairies, so let's make a show about princesses and fairies. No, it was trying to do something new and something different. It was trying to do something that has not been seen in animation for little girls in a long time. And that's why a lot of us bronies really like this show. It's doing something new and different and doing it right. And this changeover, this whole attitude of every girl wants to be a princess in the long run is stupid. It is just plain stupid. And yes, do keep in mind, I'm not calling you stupid, Meghan, but it's the mindset I'm calling stupid, okay? But I digress. I'm not trying to sound mean and nasty here. I just think that the general mindset is where the problem lays, okay? I don't object to Twilight Sparkle becoming a princess in the long run as long as it's written properly. As long as we still have good interactions between the characters. As long as Twilight Sparkle doesn't become overly powerful and overly fantastical and that everything is solved because Twilight Sparkle's in town, well, I think we're going to be fine with this changeover. Okay, Twilight Sparkle is only going to change the way she looks, hopefully, not the way she acts or behaves or interacts with the others. I am hoping that this change in Season 3 into Season 4 is going to be well done. And for the record, yeah, it seems like most of the writing in the series does suggest that, but it's still very, very, well, squicky from this viewer's perspective. That, yeah, this quote and this mindset seems to be sneaking into the series. That Hasbro still wants to cater onto its target audience in the worst way possible. And like I said, that's where I'm having my issues with. And once again, I will state that, yes, once more, I do not have a problem with Meghan McCarthy. Okay, I'm not entirely yelling and screaming at her for no reason. It's the mindset that I'm having a problem. It's the attitude I'm having a problem with. And for all it's worth, yeah, I feel that this changeover is okay, and I'm fine with it overall, but in the end, it's still my opinion that, yeah, it's a changeover that really, in the end, doesn't need to be done. But let's see how things go. When the episode this Saturday airs, I'll watch it, and I'll give my thoughts on it when that time comes. But until then, see you around, and I'm sorry about the rant, and sorry if I offended Meghan McCarthy. It's just my honest, blatant opinion. And that's what this all comes down to. Opinion. If you disagree with that opinion, fine. And if you feel I was too harsh on Meghan McCarthy, that's also fine. I just wanted to lay down the thoughts that I have in my head. Again, I'll see you around when the episode airs, and I'll catch you around. But until then, don't panic and relax.